Welcome back to Medrash U'Maizer, sharing a story for this week's Parsha, Parshas VaYechi. The Talmud Rebbe said that he heard from someone in Moshe Tzvi Naiman Zichrono Livracha, who in turn heard his following story from his uncle. When his uncle was young, he lived in the same town as Rav Meir Yechiel HaLevi of Ostrovtza. The Ostrovtza was known throughout Poland, really throughout Europe, as a tremendous Gaon in Torah. Shilas came to him from all over, and he eventually became a leader of many Hasidim. So, at one point, his uncle and the Ostrovtza went to go to Grudzisk. They were Hasidim of Rebbe Elimelech of Grudzisk, and they went there for Purim. His uncle told them that while they were on the train, so Rav Meir Yechiel gave him a Bava Basra to hold, and as they traveled, so Rav Meir Yechiel said, the entire Bava Basra, all that they were learning with the Rashi and the Tosfos, all by heart as they were going. When they got to Purim in Grudzisk, and they spent Purim with the Rebbe, on Motzoi Purim there was going to be a big tish. And the Gaboim discovered that there weren't enough challahs for the large tzibur that was there. So they asked the local baker to please open up the bakery and start baking. And meanwhile, they announced if there are any of the Hasidim who know anything about baking, please go to the bakery and help the baker, because we want to make as many challahs as possible, as quickly as possible. Now, there are many stories about the Ostrovtza, who would oftentimes quote wisdom he learned from his father, who was a fine Hasidic Jew, and he was a baker. He baked bagels. So he knew how to bake. So he immediately jumped up and ran to the bakery and started doing the work of kneading and braiding and baking and all the things that were there. While that was going on, the Rebbe came out of his room and he started the Motzei Purim Tish. At one point, he was giving out cups of wine to different people to say l'chaim, and he announced that this is for Rav Meir Yechiel of Ostrovtza. So he gave it to the Gabbai, who was supposed to give it to the young man, but nobody could find him. Eventually someone said, I think he's in the bakery. I think he's helping the baker. So there, Rebbe Elimelech of Grudzisk, when he heard that, he picked up his hands and he said, if an avrech who is so full of Torah Nir Shamayim, doesn't care anything about his covet, and runs to help bake so that people can have challahs, he says, I cannot even imagine the schar that he has, both in this world and in the next world. In this week's Parsha, we see the different brachas to the Shvatim. Yisachar gets the bracha of the chamor, of the donkey. Yisachar chamor gorem. Rovitz ben hamishpasoyim. So among the many perushim which we have on that is in the Yalkut Shimoni. It says, Yaakov said to Yisachar, what caused you to be a ben Torah? Shata rovitz v'afar v'ashpasas. That you, like a donkey, are willing to lie down in the dust, in all sorts of psolas. You don't care about that, meaning that you don't care about your own kavod, even though Yisachar was the shevet that had the bracha of Torah, that produced the most Roshei Sanhedros, 200 Roshei Sanhedros, that were Yodei Bino Le'itim. Combined with that, though, was the perfect combination of being that Talmud Chacham, but also having the anova to jump in and do what you have to do for Am Yisrael without to worry about the kavod. This is our picture of what a true Ben Torah is. This is the bracha. So when a person is starting to imagine what image should come into mind when they think about what's called a Ben Torah Amiti, a true Ben Torah, they should think of a donkey, and then they should think of Rav Yechiel Meir of Ostrovtza. Baruch Hashem lo alman Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us people in each generation who bring those midos to us. We have to find them, honor them, and emulate them. Wishing everyone a wonderful Shabbos. May we have Besuras Tovos in all things. May Hashem send Yeshuas Tovos in all, to all who need Yeshuas and Nechamas. Kol Tuv.